Hello, loves. Okay, or should I say hello, mermaids? So I'm coming on with you to share my behind the scenes of my last 24 hours when it comes to manifesting money and aligning with prosperity. And what I mean by this, like behind the scenes in my last 24 hours, is I'm going to walk you through every process, every step, every little ting that I did that was in the energy of wealth consciousness, prosperity, and manifesting money. And just to note, this discussion is going to be grounded. Like, I'm not coming on to yell at you and tell you that money will solve all your problems and you can manifest $500,000 right away and like be in that frequency. I'm coming on to be very grounded and talk about manifesting money from a very aligned place where we are feeling prosperous because it's our divine nature, so we can do all the things that our soul wants us to do and not let money get in the way of what the fuck we're supposed to be doing. Okay? So just to be clear, okay, so let's step into my last 24 hours so I can give you, and I'm sharing this so I can give you some ideas when I'm gonna take you through all the processes that I've done. It's not to be like, okay, now you have to do that exact same thing. No, it's like you can get ideas, and it's really like for those of you who don't necessarily have a committed or focused wealth consciousness practice at this point, it's for you to like see how that works in someone's life. So before I get into it, if you're live or on replay, I have a question for you because I like to bait you into talking to me because I like to know that I'm not alone here. And live or on replay, I would like you to tell me right now, what is a favorite plant that you are working with? Whether you work with herbs and you're drinking specific teas or working with a tincture, or you just maybe like peppermint tea and that's what you're doing, I would love to know, because last time I asked about crystals, this time I'm asking about plants. So let me know in the comments what plant you're working with right now, what you love. Or if you're like, what are you even talking about? So 24 hours. So 24 hours ago, I'm going to walk you through what I was doing. First, I have to remember, okay, so yesterday I created an altar, and the altar is devoted to prosperity and the codes of prosperity and my new course, The Priestess's Guide to Manifesting Money. And so the altar is like kind of for this course and to call the right woman to this course in. But if this was translating in your own life and you're getting inspired, you could, and maybe you don't have a course open, or even you're not an entrepreneur, that altar, literally the frequency of that altar was around prosperity. It was around like the codes of prosperity and being a physical access point for these frequencies to come in. So as I created this altar, I asked the angels of prosperity to come through. I called on my higher self, all of my spirit guides. I created something beautiful, and I asked that would be a portal to the codes of prosperity in this space, in my home temple, in my body, and in the world. And I saw the light anchor down into the grids to activate prosperity for all beings. And then, of course, I also ask that anybody who's a vibrational match for the Priestess's Guide to Manifesting Money comes in and receives that. So Bianca says chamomile, solar plexus work. Oh, cool. I didn't know chamomile was associated. Well, duh, that makes sense. It's a yellow flower. But okay, cool. Solar plexus, amazing. And for those of you who are just joining me live, why is Bianca talking about chamomile when I'm talking about prosperity consciousness? Because I asked you a question to get you to talk to me, because I like when you talk to me, and ask you, what plant are you working with right now? An essential oil, a tea, an herb, a tincture? Like, what's a good plant that you're working with right now that you love? Oh, by the way, mine would be chaga. Chaga. Okay, let's get back to that. Okay, so I created the altar. And then I meditated. So I meditated on the energy of prosperity. I had whale music playing in the background, and I literally just felt like the vastness of the ocean. So what I did, I was just putting myself in the energy of like that river of prosperity that lives inside of me. And what happens to trigger me into feeling that is chilling with my whale homies. Okay, so if you're getting ideas for your own life, and you're like, okay, what? Meditating with whales and money? Like, what? Okay, it totally works for me. But you might meditate, like, what makes you feel prosperous? You might meditate on, like, an image or a color or a place or an experience or a memory or a forest or whatever that makes you just feel so prosperous if you're taking some of this into your own life. Mariah says, I have a pink daisy in my house. Oh, that's nice. So I just love this flow. I don't know if you're talking about the flow of like the video or like the flow of like the wave emoji that you just put up. I like it. So once I did that, before that, sorry, I have to rewind. So I did my altar and I meditated with prosperity consciousness and I just felt it. So something that you can take away from this is you don't have to be always thinking about money to manifest money. You just want to be putting yourself in the frequency of prosperity. And I wrote a post about this today. If you haven't seen it, go into the Sisterhood of the Mermaid Moon. I'm also going to email it out if you're on my list. Just put yourself in the flow of prosperity. If you want more money in your life, you don't necessarily have to be like money. Like, sure, you could be if that makes you feel good, but what makes you feel prosperous? Like, does dressing a certain way make you feel prosperous? Earlier today, it was snowing, and it very rarely snows where I live. So I was like, oh my God, there's like a zillion flakes of snow falling from the sky. And I was feeling the prosperity of that. So that was a part of my 24 hours. I was like, whoa, baby. And I was like, this is cool. So like, whoa, like my energy field's opening up. I'm receiving. I'm like noticing. It's like, if you're on the beach, you can be like, how many grains of sand are on this beach right now? Like, that is amazing. And like, get yourself in this energy of like, whoa, open. So anyway, that was some of what I did. I created an altar and I vibed out with prosperity. Then actually before I did that, earlier yesterday, I called the government. I was like, yo guys, are we good on taxes? Because like I paid some and like, I don't know, like I'm kind of confused with what you were telling me. I called the government to see if my tax bill had been fully paid off, that I was paying off. Because I was confused. They were sending me different numbers and I didn't know. And so I paid it online and I recognized that it was a leak in my energy field and my energetics around money. I kept catching myself being like, oh, but I don't know if I owe more in taxes or maybe I owe a couple grand more. I'm not sure. And I just didn't know. And I realized that it was not working for me. It was not aligned. And I just needed to rip the Band-Aid off and call the government. And they said, oh yeah, you're good. You're totally paid off, which is a really awesome feeling. And then after that, what I did was my credit card moved over to a new credit card company and I hadn't had the login for it yet. So I actually created my login so I could see my credit card balance again because it had been a few weeks with this new system where I didn't have access to my old login. So I also didn't know it was on my credit card bill, which was also a leak in my energy. So in my 24 hours of my wealth consciousness practice, I'm not just doing affirmations. Like I'm not just building an altar. Fuck yeah, I'm doing those things, but I'm also doing very tangible things that connect with money, like tangible, like where's my debt at, or like what have I paid off and what have I not. And if I am unclear about those things, if I'm really actually showing up for myself in my wealth consciousness, I am going to look into those things and just know where I'm at. And in my case, awesome, my taxes are paid off. I have really low money on my credit card, and I already knew that. But even if that wasn't the case, and if I was like, oh my gosh, I have like $10,000 on my credit card, like, whoa, the fact that I would have gone in to know and to look at it and breathe and feel it would have been a huge step towards my manifestation of money practice, because it means like, hey, money, I'm willing to take care of you. I'm willing to look at you. So again, like it's not just because like, oh, I'm doing good with my, taxes or whatever that makes this a good wealth consciousness practice. It's that I'm willing to look and maybe do something that scares me, because I still don't love calling the government and talking about taxes. Like my ancestral energies are like, oh, they're gonna kill me, they're gonna take all my money. And I'm like, it's cool. No, they're not. It'll be fine. So yeah, so let me know if you have any questions so far. All right, so I did that very tangible work. I built an altar for prosperity. I meditated with the frequencies of prosperity. In my case, whales make me feel like that. It's not called Sisterhood of the Mermaid Moon for no reason, people. And then what else did I do? Okay, so after that, I took action. I took inspired action. Oh, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself here. You'd think I would have written this down in notes so I could clearly tell you one step at a time, but no, I don't do that. I actually, when I was in this ceremony for prosperity, built the altar, vibrated with prosperity. Since I'm launching this new course, The Priestess's Guide to Manifesting Money, whenever I launch anything, I have limiting beliefs that come up in me. Like, no, you can't have what you want. You can't have that much money coming in. You can't have that many people and expand and be that successful, all this stuff. So I also did clearing work last night. The power went out, thankfully. I live in a small town. Power goes out a lot. So it was just candles. And I was like, this is a great opportunity. So what I did was I spoke, this is what I want. Like, this is the frequency. This is the level of prosperity that I want to be at. And I asked out loud, okay, any vibrations that are not aligned with that, like basically a prayer like this, the transmutational prayer that I've shared before. Higher self, please clear, release, delete, and transmute that from my system across all time, dimension, space, and reality now, right? So what I also did yesterday is, by the way, you don't have to do all this in one day. Like, this is a lot, but I just want to give you behind the scenes of some things that can be a part of your flow. I was like, I recognized that I wanted something, that I wanted to be at this level of prosperity, but I had these old doubts and feelings coming up of why I couldn't. So I made sure to tend to that and to do clearing prayers around that. And I also did that today. And this literally takes me 3 minutes. Right. And if you need a guide around that. So in the free wealth consciousness journey that maybe you've already taken, it's on my website, I include the transmutational prayer, which is like, okay, anywhere where this exists, anywhere where I believe this, anywhere that's blocking this, please higher self clear, release, delete, transmute across all time, dimension, space, and reality now. So you can just go through and say your clearing prayers. It can take you 3 minutes. You can do it for 5 minutes. You can do it for 10 minutes. You can do it for 30 seconds in the shower. But clearing is always a part of my journey, especially when I notice that I have blocks. A lot of people talk about changing your mind, which I think is extremely valid. But what about your energy field? If your energy field is full of ancestral blocks and trauma that make you feel very like in an energy of scarcity, and you try to change your mind and you think a new thought, but you still have that sinking feeling in your body, what then? So this is why I bring in clearing work, like the clearing prayers, and like going deep with energy work. I work with Archangel Michael a lot as well, so I bring Archangel Michael in to clear those out. So Sakraton is here. Hi, love. Willpower. Mariah says, yes, love the prayer with Archangel Michael. Use it all the time, all day. Amazing. Perfect. And Sakraton says, I just printed out, yay, your free ebook yesterday. Started the 30-day challenge today. Yay, yay. Okay. So let's revisit again. I looked into my taxes and my credit card, tangible work. I made an altar for prosperity, just magical priestess work. I vibed out with the frequencies of prosperity. Yeah, vibe out with what you want. I noticed what was in me that was like, hey, like, I don't think you can have that. And I was like, clear that shit, delete it, woo! All right, so that was last night. And then I also took inspired action. I was like, okay, in order to live this, in order to experience this, what would you have me do? And then I went to write a post that promoted my new course. And I scheduled it for this morning. Then, oh my God, I actually do a lot. Jeez Louise. Going to bed, I listened to Reagan Hillier, a spiritual and a money and a business coach. She came out with a new 8-hour YouTube video that you can listen to when you sleep. So it's like affirmations. It's like, I surrender. Money comes to me easily. I'm a magnet for money. Prosperity is like blah, blah, blah. And so I listened to that. I had to shut it off after 2 hours because I was having a really hard time falling asleep. And I was like, is this like you or like the chocolate that I ate before? I don't know. But I got through 2 hours of that. And then What did I do this morning? I don't know. I just did Kundalini yoga this morning, so that's good. Like life force energy. Yes, yes, yes. I went to a meeting to create some ecstatic dance in my local community, which was awesome with a friend. And I put on like a nice like a Beth business outfit, which most people would be like, Beth, you still look like a hippie. But like I thought it was kind of like, like more like, ooh, like I put on my nice boots. So that helped me feel like prosperous. And then I looked at the snow and I was like, oh my goddess, it's so prosperous. There's so much snow falling. So it's like, if you feel me, it's like every opportunity, like I will look around and be like, wow, that feels really prosperous. Like, yes, thank you. I accept, I receive. Like, wow, these beautiful mountains. I live in a fucking incredibly beautiful place in the world. And I'm like, wow, thank you. Like, yes, thank you. I accept, I receive. All the while thinking there's someone sitting next to me going, oh, my day's off and it's snowing. It's so horrible outside. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, here I am being like, oh my God, the snow is so prosperous. And like someone else is like, this is horrible. Right. So it's like, I go throughout the day and I'm like, what opportunities do I have right now to feel the way I want to feel, right? And then all the while, throughout the day, whenever I can, I'm also like celebrating my wins. I'm like visualizing myself at the end of the month being like, fuck yeah, 10 grand again. Fuck yeah. Oh my God. No, actually it was like 13 grand this month. Crazy. Wow, awesome. And just being like so stoked and just like trying that on for like a minute here, 2 minutes here, and just being like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's kind of everything that I kind of did in the last 24 hours that supported my wealth consciousness. And if you're noticing, it wasn't something for 3 minutes and I stopped. Like, the thing that people don't recognize fully enough is that in order to shift your relationship with money in a really deep way, like you need to be committed. Like you need, like my first money teacher ever that I found literally said the words, because she struggled with money and then created a very incredible, successful business. She said, I worked on wealth consciousness like it was my full-time job. Like she literally said those words. I've never taken it to that extent, but like we're talking like go deep, create time, carve out time, but do it in a lot of different ways. So right now what I am offering is, oh my gosh, okay, it's the Priestess's Guide to Manifesting Money. It's an amazing 6-week course. I forgot to tell you what I did last night too before bed, and this was more of an offering, but it put me in a vibration. I recorded 2 of the guided meditations for the Priestess's Guide to Manifesting Money. Oh my gosh, the first one was so amazing, but the second one I was like, oh my God, like I created one of my most favorite meditations I've ever created. I led you through, if you sign up and you get it, I led you through a rose quartz waterfall. It clears out scarcity frequency. It clears out lack programming in the rose quartz waterfall. And then I take you to a golden waterfall and it brings in the highest frequency of money, and you get to breathe in your body the highest frequency of money, the frequency of money that can only be used for the good of the world, and you like absorb it and vibe out with it. And there's like a lot around that meditation too. I was so stoked on that meditation. And so I created that last night. So it's for the Priestess's Guide to Manifesting Money, right? I just love it. I love it. So if you are feeling me and you're like, okay, I get that I need to be committed, but here's the thing. Maybe you don't necessarily know about the practices that you could be doing. You are maybe somewhat new to this work, and maybe you need some guidance, because I did. I learned what I learned because I signed up for programs, because I followed money teachers, because I got mentorship, and I took a lot of different things that were coming from different people, and I put it together for me in a way that worked with my like priestess energy and my starseed energy and like my multidimensional nature, and I just love it. And so the Priestess's Guide to Manifesting Money is a 6-week course. It's available for you. It's half off the regular investment until next week. So it's only $148 US a month for 3 months. Like crazy, crazy value. I've paid way more than that for the programs I've invested in. But I want you to have this information because I'm going to walk you through literally everything that I know around manifesting money from a really grounded perspective that's all about serving you and your heart's desires and serving the world. And there's guided meditations in here that are incredible that you can practice over and over and over again There are modules, video modules that are so rich in content that you could probably watch them 3 or 4 times and still be learning new things and gutting new things. And I promise you that if you go through this course and you commit to it and you do the meditations and you do some of the homework steps that I'm telling you, you will so far surpass your investment of the 444 I'm asking for right now. It will not even be funny, like literally. So that is available to you. It's half off until next week, next Thursday on the 23rd. And it comes with bonuses. So not only is it half off right now, but I'm giving you a live Q&A bonus at the end of the journey and a couple other bonuses in there that are really juicy and amazing. And rising so beautiful, especially on the island, what I was talking about being on the island. And yes, it's already done. That's the frequency. So I will leave that with you. That's your invitation. There's some, in this video, you got some information about how I flow. You can take it into your life right away and feel into like, how do I want to approach my wealth consciousness? And this isn't going to be for everybody. There's going to be some of people that are watching this that are like, I'm not ready. I don't want to get into my wealth consciousness that deeply. I just want to say affirmations for 3 minutes a week and hope that that's going to be enough, and then go on with my life and still pray for the money and manifest it on every new moon with a piece of paper, but then forget about it. Cool. Awesome. I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to you who is ready for shifts and who is ready to do the work and who realizes and recognizes that you stepping into prosperity consciousness is a gift to yourself and the world, so that you can do those programs, that you can go to those sacred sites, so you can buy that organic food, so you can show people what's possible by allowing the codes of prosperity to be activated in your system. So I'll leave that with you. So much love. And yeah, I'm excited to journey with you if you decide to step into the course. Lots of love. Bye.